What up, y'all, and welcome to Italy for the 13th race of the NRSL Digital Storm Cup Series 2023 season. We got 20 laps this time around, and for the first time ever, pit stops are going to be a thing. So that'll throw a new dynamic into this race. Draft won't be everything, and the drivers are actually taking a different line around the circuit this year. So the drivers have taken a lot of notes and data from the last 3 years of racing at this track, or last 3 events, I should say. And apparently there is a new optimum line to take around this long road course track. So without further ado, on pole is Sebastian Kugelon. It's his first pole of the year, I believe, since he is not even top 45 in point standings. He made this race through Go Home, and it's his second career pole of his Cup Series career. To his right side is a man who's long been looking to win on a road course. Could today be the day for Zachary Fitzwater Sr.? Chevy unstoppable here at this racetrack. They've actually locked out the first 3 rows. Cole Deaver, Corey Riggs, row 2, Ryan Brommer, Alex Ferranti, row 3, and then top 7 overall with Christian Vargas in 7th place. He's in row 4 with Derek Hamill, with Ace Rogers and Logan York rounding out the top 10. Seth Cole won here in 2017, with Charles Sanford getting the win in 2021, and Rob Evans getting the win here a year ago. So Chevy, lights out here in Italy. We'll have to see if Ford, Toyota, or Dodge can change that here this afternoon. So if you're new to this circuit, it's basically Monza, but old Monza, and incorporates the oval circuit as well. So you see on one side, on the right side of your screen, now the left side of your screen is where the entrance to the infield is, and this section of the oval comes out of the infield road course section. So going to go through the rest of the starting lineup here really quickly. See Andrew Rich in the top 20. Same with Nate Rogers. You see Charles Sanford up close to the top 20. Rob Evans is near the rear, as is Dylan Young. Pace car down pit road, green flag is out, and we are underway here in Italy. Fitzwater will clear here down the main straightaway. So they are already 3 wide heading into the infield section. Seeing a lot of sliding. Ooh, some door slamming going on between Derek Hamill and Cole Deaver. Ferranti clear in 3rd. Deaver, Hamill still 3 wide. Ooh, a lot of contact being made. Camera angles are going to be tough to see things here, especially in this section of the infield road course. You can see it's really hard to get an angle on anything. Kugelon and Fitzwater side by side for the race lead. As they head down one of the second longest straightaways on the track, or full throttle sections I should call it. Ooh, Kugelon with a wide arc here. Out of that corner, see Fitzwater still in 2nd, but Hamill, Corey Riggs, Logan York up from 10th, right behind them. So come around another blind corner, last blind corner of the infield road course, and then coming back out onto the oval section. And this is where draft is important. You see Fitzwater in line with Kugelon as Derek Hamill up to 3rd after starting in 8th. Running that new lower line. You can see they're a bit more farther away from the outside wall than they usually were in past years. So that gives the leader a good way to defend the draft run, as the car behind is also not right up next to the wall, and you can't go up next to the wall to make that move because there's just not quite enough room to make a pass. And it kind of prevents 3 wide from forming soon enough, I would like to say, through those last 2 corners to make it crazy. So kind of makes you work with people a little bit more. As now Fitzwater and York are side by side for the lead, so it's the 59 and the 95. How about that? As you can see in corners such as this, the longer way around is still faster as Fitzwater falls from 2nd, looking to 4th, maybe 5th if Ace Rogers gets by him here. Not quite. But right now, Logan York is the one in the race lead. 3 wide through certain corners can be sketchy, and that was the case here. William Brock gonna just get into Christian Vargas and spins himself into the trees. Bradley Ream nowhere to go. Sameta Oskin, the points leader, gets involved. Laura Chung, Dylan Young also involved. Zach Flickinger around. And a huge crash on lap 2 of the race. Sameta Oskin's car heavily destroyed. Came in with a 4-point lead over Nate Rogers. And it's likely going to be tough to keep that points lead now. Let's see if we can get another angle of this. So you can see the accident start here. It's a bit there in the distance. But Brock gets into Vargas and then comes to the left of the track into Bradley Ream. They both go in the trees. Vargas gets sent flying into the gravel. See Andrew Rich, Charles Sanford with a near miss here as the camera focuses on William Brock. Sameta Oskin clips him with nowhere to go. And now Vargas, his car sliding down the track. And right here, Laura Chung gets into it, gets into Dylan Young, and then into Zach Flickinger, who gets turned into the 8 of Lane Sanders. And then both of those cars go spinning. Dylan Young about noses it in the trees. Lane Sanders actually going to disappear for a second there in the trees. But he gathers it up and keeps going. But a decent-sized wreck here on lap 2. We've got a couple onboards. On board with the 9 of Nate Rogers. So Nate forced to hit the brakes there and then makes it by. On board the 22 of Sameta Oskin. He was right behind Jonathan Sorlin. He chose to turn left. And he just hits William Brock full throttle. Another incident on track. Fresh off of looking at the replay. Diego Yepes gets into Zachary DeLello, turning them both into the trees. And giving both of these cars heavy damage. DeLello raced in through Go Home qualifying. And Yepes also in through Go Home qualifying. Been on a good trend since his win at Charlotte. And it looks like that good trend ends today. That car is heavily damaged. Back at the front of the field, the battle has been raging on for the race lead. Now Vince Freeze is up here fighting for the lead, looking to get his first career Digital Storm Cup Series victory. Also got RJ Bishop, the Daytona 500 winner from this year, up here. Ace Rogers and Alexander Rowe also at the front of the field. Rowe looking for some momentum to get him out of Go Home qualifying. Oh, they are really leaning on each other here. Ooh, Ace Rogers just got in the Vince Freeze and put him into the guardrail. Looked like Freeze was really out of shape, and Ace gave him a tap while he was trying to save it. And that's going to give the 12 some left side door damage. We'll have to see if that affects the 12 car's pace. Shouldn't be too bad as long as he stays in some draft, but once they get to higher speeds, it might start to show. Meanwhile, Fitzwater back in the race lead. Oh, and someone just got hooked hard into the outside wall. I can't see who it is from here, but there's two cars over there in the gravel stuck in the outside wall, and it looked like someone got turned right in the right rear quarter panel going into a left-hand corner, and that was a vicious impact. Well, here it is, folks, in slow motion. It's between Alexander Rowe and Jessica Shelton. You can't see the contact from here, but I think Rowe, I don't know if Rowe got into Vince Freeze or not, but he gets hooked by Jessica Shelton, and then they both slam the wall so hard, Alexander Rowe's car actually gets stuck on a portion of the guardrail, and it flings him around and flips him over, while Jessica Shelton is stuck in the guardrail herself. Actually got a right rear tire up on the guardrail. And that takes both of these cars out of the race. A huge crash for these two. On board with Charles Sanford. And you can see the impact there to the right side. Just a brutal hit for both of those drivers. First round of pit stops has begun as Andrew Rich has brought his car down pit road. Now, he has chosen to pit by himself, so we'll have to see what the lack of draft does for his race car. So I'm hearing a lot of teams are thinking of taking left sides on the first pit stop and then taking right sides on the second pit stop, and not using the fuel tank all the way up. So that is the apparent strategy call here, and that is what Andrew Rich team has elected to do. As there's been another crash, someone has been spun into the grass. Oh, and RJ Bishop was involved. He's destroyed. Vince Freeze is destroyed. Alex Ferranti heavy damage. And we've got another incident to look at. Okay, so this starts kind of early. They're coming out of the second oval corner, and RJ's in the middle of a 3 wide here. So York get clear. Deaver is just to his quarter panel, and then Sebastian Kukalan kind of pinches left, trying to give a hold of Derek Hamill, and then Ace Rogers is to the right, and RJ just pinches himself into Cole Deaver. That puts Cole Deaver in the trees. Now Deaver is going to keep going. RJ is spinning across the track. He's just going to get clipped by Ryan Brommer, which pushes RJ's car straight into the grass, takes out the Joe sign. RJ rear ends it in the trees, but now here's a problem. This car still has so much forward momentum that he's going to come back onto the track. And Corey Riggs just gets by, but Vince Freeze and Alex Ferranti have nowhere to go, and both get heavy impacts. Freeze gets sent straight into the trees. And then Henry Sanford slams Ferranti in the passenger side door and flips him over. And this car is on for a ride. Ferranti barrel rolls, I believe, 6 or 7 times here. And that's going to take all of these drivers out of the race. All of these cars were having such great runs. And this track, man, this track is hungry for cars this year, hungry for carnage, and it's just eating them all up. Once again on board with Nate Rogers, who avoids another one. And you see he was just behind Henry Sanford. He races on with Zach Carrington to his right side. And a little dicey. First big group of cars heading down pit road is going to be led by Zachary Fitzwater Sr., Logan York, Sebastian Kugelon, Derek Hamill, Ace Rogers, and Richard Johnson are in. So is Cole Deaver. He's got damage to fix. Baranowskis, Ryan Brommer, Nate Rogers down pit road. Then a second group of cars, Benjamin Ice, Stephen Waters, Kate Anderson, Rob Evans, Keith Rich are in. And that gives Quinton Moore the race lead. Seth Kohler, 2017 winner, is in second. Charles Sanford, Jonathan Sorlin, Corey Riggs, Logan Williams, Trey Smith, Zach Carrington have also stayed out, as has Kev Shearer, as Fitzwater is done with his pit stop, and he comes out in the lead of his group. Quinton Moore will lead down the next big group here on lap number 8. Seth Cole, Charles Sanford. Oops, wrong button. Sorlin, Williams, Riggs, Smith, Carrington, Kev Shearer, all going to come down. So I believe Diego Yepes is being parked. Now we'll have to see where will Fitzwater come out amongst those that have stayed out a lap. So everyone still seems to be going with a 2-tire Strat. There goes Quentin Moore. Sorlin and Charles Sanford are rubbing each other's doors side by side. Sorlin with a very good pit stop. He comes out second. Seth Cole, man, he had a terrible pit stop. He comes out way back in the running order. And there goes Fitzwater doing a good old buck 95. Through turns 1 and 2, he's got Logan York right behind him. Another amazing run on a road course for York. York really hungry, looking for that first career win. And they're going to come out just in front of Jonathan Sorlin here, I believe. Yep, they'll be to his left side, so that's the preferred line into this corner. Quentin Moore has the race lead, but those tires are cold. So Fitzwater, York, Sorlin, they should catch. And then there is a good draft train behind them of Sanford, Logan Williams, Hamill, Turner, Kukulon, Riggs, Baranowski, Seth Cole, and Carrington. See Nate Rogers back here, not within range to maybe fight for this thing, but in range for a good finish. A lot of cars out of the race. Alexander Rowe, Jessica Shelton, Zachary DeLello, William Brock, Samantha Oskin, and Laura Chung. And eventually we'll see Henry Sanford, Alex Ferranti, Vince Freeze, and RJ Bishop done as well. So Fitzwater should get a good run on Quentin Moore here. See if we can see the run manifest in live time. So Quentin Moore going 182, still in third gear. Fitzwater just hit fourth gear, but you can already see the draft playing a big role. I'll see what the speed difference is here at the start-finish line. Sorlin put in a move on Logan York. It's 192, 197. So 5-6 mile an hour difference it looked about there. Now Fitzwater really getting in the draft, really starting to close up. Right now top 4 have broken away from the rest of the field. But that second group is a lot bigger and I believe closing in as well, especially if these drivers go side by side like this. Draft strength decreases a bit. You see 204 right there from Sorlin. These guys are going about the same speed. As Hamill's going to take 5th place from Charles Sanford. So Nate Rogers is in this third group with Andrew Rich. These guys are making up 14th to 19th. See Dylan Young. Bad day. Same Rob Evans. Not looking like Rob going to be able to defend this year. Cole Deaver fixed that damage. He fell back a ton. Lane Sanders, Zach Flickinger, Christian Vargas, Bradley Ream still all in this thing. As Jonathan Sorlin has taken the race lead away from Fitzwater and Quentin Moore. So it's a Chevy, Ford, Toyota top 4. Have to see if Hamill and his group can start to close in some. It looks like they are. Fitzwater looking to make a move on Sorlin. He's going to do so. we're going to be halfway done with this race. Lap 10 of 20 will be completed. Quentin Moore giving help to Fitzwater, a former teammate. Teammates no more. And he'll push Fitzwater to the lead there at the line. And that second pack is coming. These guys are racing for the lead here. The guys behind them are not. So you see Sorlin, York doing about a $1.95, $1.93 actually, and Derek Hamill and co. are getting a huge run right here. Especially with the leaders going 3 wide in front of them. Hamill is cooking right now. 2:09, 2:10 about. And they're going to get right there. So Hamill, Williams, Sanford, Turner are now effectively in range here. And we'll have to see if Kugelon, Cole, and Carrington can make up some ground here as well. Same with Baranowskis. So it looks like it is a 12-car pack right now for the lead group, as the foliage is in the way. And Fitzwater is the one leading. And we are halfway done with this one. Not much has been going on. Second round of pit stops has commenced. Fitzwater, Hamill, and Kukulon are the first ones down the pit lane. Audra Baranowskis lost touch with the main group's draft, so that cut them down to 11, now down to 8. Stephen Waters, Keith Rich, Dylan Young also in the pits. Race lead given to Jonathan Zorlin as they are still racing crazy right here. Turner has stayed in the mix. Turner looking for his first win since the 2020 season. What a dive here. Going on Sanford, going on Zorlin. Turner had that great rookie season, has not won a race since. Package really got switched up after 2020. You talk about the guys he's racing against. These are Digital Storm Cup Series Hall of Famers right here. You got Zorlin with 2 championships and 20 career wins, plus Charles Sanford with 13 career wins, including this year's All-Star race. Zorlin also an All-Star winner 2 years ago. And Turner with just 2 wins to his name. A lot of aspiring to be done here looking at these 2 drivers. 5 in the 03, legendary stuff done in those car numbers. Turner, though, without draft. He's got a teammate here of Quentin Moore. Have to see if him and Quentin can do something. Logan Williams, another Roush teammate, also up here with them. So all of the 3 Roush cars that made the race are up here fighting for the win. Scott Roush did not qualify. See, will Sorlin pit this time? Yes, he does. It looks like Quentin Moore will go 1 more lap, but everyone else is coming to pit road. As it looks like Kev Shearer and Andrew Rich have had a problem. Well, this is brutal, so we're going to slow it down for y'all. Watch as these cars come out from behind the foliage. 3 wide with Ace Rogers, Kev Shearer, and Andrew Rich. And Kev actually already had some hood damage. And Kev gets kind of arrow loose from the 63, and that sends him to the left into Andrew Rich, and they just hook. He gets hooked into the gravel and then goes airborne into the trees, as does Andrew Rich. And it is a sight, to be quite honest. Andrew's car tumbling through the air next to the trees. I mean, these guys, they slammed the tree line. On board with Andrew Rich. Brace yourselves. Happened so fast you can't even really comprehend the impact. Pit cycle is all but complete. Richard Johnson is the last car left to pit here. So he is on a different strategy. He is leading by himself. Quentin Moore just coming out of pit road as Charles Sanford and Jonathan Zorlin are battling for what will likely become the race lead. So behind them, Quinton Moore should be in the fight, as is Zach Carrington, Jesse Turner, Sebastian Kukulon, and Zachary Fitzwater Sr. as they're going to drive by Quinton Moore. Moore's going to just get in their draft. We'll have to see how much the cold tires hurt him. Logan Williams, his teammate, is going to be right behind him. But Ace Rogers, Baranowskis, Derek Hamill, Logan York, Seth Cole, they appear to be out of range. So Johnson's the race leader, and once he pits, we'll have quite the fight for the lead and the win on our hands here in Italy. 4 laps to go. The race is on. Zorlin leads it with Zach Carrington to his inside. Zorlin with help from Charles Sanford. Carrington with help from Sebastian Kukulon. Jesse Turner, Fitzwater, and Logan Williams are also in the fight. Quinton Moore did not stay in touch with the draft. So 4 laps to go, and it's down to 7 cars. Williams looking for career win number 1, as is Zach Carrington, who has just started getting a good stretch of qualifying for races. As we can't see anything. GG me. Turner's looking for his first win in 3 years. Kukulon, first win in longer than that. Kukulon and Turner both with 2 career wins. Meanwhile, Fitzwater, Charles Sanford, and Zorlin are the juggernauts of this fight. Sanford's looking for what would be his 2nd win of the season. Would be career win number 14 for the 03 team. And another road course win for the Terminator, which would pretty much solidify, he's already solidified, but it would solidify himself further as the 2nd best road course ringer behind Seth Cole. Seth Cole currently in 13th place. By the way, update on that points battle. Nate Rogers in 15th. Oskin going to finish 41st this week. So the title fight going to really move in Nate Rogers' favor. Kev Shear with issues again today. So Jonathan Zorlin, who came in 32 points back, is looking to gain a ton of points as well, and he is ahead of teammate Nate Rogers. Next closest title contender is Charles Sanford, 8th in the point standings, coming in 73 points back. 3 laps to go. Kukulon is the race leader. No lap traffic to be found. Bradley Ream is way up the road. And so far, no new incidents have occurred. We'll be back when we're at 2 laps to go, coming to 1 to go. So we'll see how much the running order shifts from now until then. Moving towards the final infield corner. Back onto the oval will be coming to the white flag. Side by side for the lead is Fitzwater and Sebastian Kukulon. Behind them, side by side for 3rd, Zorlin and Charles Sanford. We've got 5 Chevrolets and 2 Fords fighting for the win. The odds are high that Chevy stays undefeated here on the Milano circuit. Top 2 side by side with 3rd and 4th side by side behind them. That's given Logan Williams a pretty good tow. What can he do with the draft? Turner looks like he is fading from the draft. White flag in the air. 1 lap to go here in Italy. It's a dead heat at the start-finish line. 7/1000ths of a second there. Remember 2 years ago in 2021, Charles Sanford had a photo finish for the win here. That was over Rob Evans, who ended up winning the race last year. Kukulon is currently clear of Fitzwater. Nope, not quite. Never mind. Fitzwater defends. Just to come around the first infield corner. Fitzwater clears Kukulon. So does Charles Sanford. But remember, leading out of the infield in the past has never really fanned out into getting you the win. Because there's still a mile or so of full throttle drafting to be done. But that's been before pit stops were a thing, and the field was heavily bunched up at all times. Could it be different this year? Fitzwater's got a pretty good lead right now. Plus, the line they take is different. Zorlin and Charles Sanford were side by side there for a good bit through that last corner. They're looking like they could be side by side through the hairpin corner. And that's letting Fitzwater get a bit more of a gap. Remember, the Cup cars do not have as much of a draft wake as the trucks. If this was a truck series race, I think the leader might still be doomed. But this will be the moment of truth. Does Fitzwater have enough horsepower to get him this win? Kugelan's making a move, looking for third on Zorlin. Zorlin is yet to help Charles Sanford. Sanford's got no help. He's getting draft, but he's got no help. And I think that's probably going to seal it here off of the final corner for Zachary Fitzwater Sr. He's finally going to get it. A road course win for Mr. Angry. Fitzwater is going to be drinking some Fosters here in Victory Lane. And his first road course win is his 10th career NRSL Digital Storm Cup Series win. And he becomes the 6th driver to reach that mark. And joins the likes of Jonathan Zorlin, Andrew Rich, person we don't talk about, Seth Cole, and Charles Sanford as a 10-time winner in Digital Storm Cup Series history. Charles Sanford comes home in second, just over Jonathan Zorlin. Kugelan gets fourth. That'll be a great point stay for him with where he is in the point standings. Logan Williams fifth, Zach Carrington sixth, Turner seventh, Ace Rogers eighth, Derek Hamill ninth, and Logan York rounds out the top 10. Go over some honorable mentions. Seth Cole in 11th, Nate Rogers 15th, Dylan Young 19th after that early incident. Rob Evans 23rd. Andrew Rich 30th. Ferranti, Bishop, Vince Freeze, Henry Sanford all out of the race. Good cars gone down the drain. Same with Alexander Rowe, Jessica Shelton, William Brock, and Sametta Oskin. So that's it for us here this afternoon. Jerky Pro returns next week. Or, well, not next week per se, but next time out, Jerky Pro is back. And, we're going to the True Chaos track, Pukekohe Park Raceway over in New Zealand. If you thought the championship was getting shaken up here these last two international races, you haven't seen nothing yet. Because when we get to New Zealand, the standings might just get flipped upside down. Here come your official race results and point standings, and I'll see you guys in New Zealand.